And it says we are live.
Hey, what's good?
All right. Let me just get this shared out to a couple
Hmm.
places.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Streamlabs just sent me a email. Congratulations on your first stream. Well, yeah, I've used your product before. I just switched because my computer at the time was a POS. So
Mine's getting to the point where it just wants nothing to do with streaming. It's like it hurts too much to run things, and I'm just like, I know I need to build you a new everything.
I need to fix your insights. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a few minutes. Let some people hop up in here.
Hey yo, we're live right here.
Live chat. No,
Yo,
not live chat. Share.
hang out!
No,
Exclamation mark.
I don't want to
Boom.
copy the link. Go to Twitter.
Oh man.
No, I don't want to send it to Namson in a private message. Namson
But
already knows
maybe
we're
you
live.
do. Do I? Am I even here? I don't fucking know.
I was seriously beginning to wonder. I was like, it's like 20 to 6. Where's the dude at?
Like I said, man, if you don't hear from me, assume things are going well. And if you do hear from me, that will be when it says, if it says that I can or can't make it.
The Great Reset. Paste. All right, it says we have one person here. What is up to the person in the chat?
It's me.
No, it's
Oh,
Rockon.
no, it's Rock On. All right.
It didn't count you before. You don't count, Namson.
I never count.
What's up, Rockon? How you doing? Let's see if it put it in the Discord.
Mm-mm.
We have an interesting topic that we're going to be talking about today. I'm excited for this one. Namson, are you excited for this one?
I am as pumped as I could possibly be because I did not prepare anything, so it's going to be entirely off the dome, baby.
That is
And I'm not
factual.
even zooted yet.
We literally were messaging back and forth last night, and I was like, "So, do we have a topic?" He's like,
I've had a pretty busy week. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think of fucking shit for shit. So no, we do not.
"So I came
But
up
now
with
we do.
a random topic, and with the way things are going, I think it's going to be a very interesting topic, and I'm interested to see what people's responses are and how you would handle it, how I would handle it. What up, Triple B? How you doing?
I
Got
actually don't even remember which one we picked. I remember business and something else, and me saying I could definitely talk about that something else,
well, the one
but I
that you
don't
don't
remember.
remember is our topic that we're talking
I
about.
know, I'm aware. Hey, rock on. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Boston?
Yes, I've well over a week with no soda, and the migraines have subsided. No more
Yeah,
migraines.
that's a W, guys. Can we get a W in the chat for Hatter? That's a massive W, like George W. Bush type W.
I
Massive W.
I still get a little bit of caffeine with the tea, but
Fine.
I limit it. I limit how much I take in. One tea a day
Oh,
for the waters.
my boy.
I'm trying to
Oh,
listen.
I have a sweet tea in the fridge. That sounds really good right now. I'm gonna get a sweet tea. I'll be right back.
Namson is not very hard to talk into something.
Nah, I'm definitely a victim of peer pressure.
All right, so let's see how many people we got in here right now. Ooh, we got 7 people. Make sure you guys say hello. Make sure you hit the like on the stream. We have a very, very interesting topic that we're going to be talking about today, and I'm super excited. But there is fluoride in it. Not as much as soda. Green tea is like outrageous with the amounts of fluoride. Raspberry tea, the fluoride amounts are minimal.
What was that?
Boston said, but there's fluoride in it. And I was like, it could be worse because black tea and green tea, their levels are off the charts. That's like 3.9, 4 parts per million.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing you really want to avoid, which is kind of unfortunate, because I never get anything other than water, or when I do, it's fucking like chocolate milk. But this one right here, see, filtered water. That's probably fluoride right there. But in little amounts, as long as you get some shit that's gonna counteract that. Eat yourself some tamarind, you'll be all right, baby. But just don't do that shit every day.
Yeah, this doesn't say filtered water.
Oh, good.
No, no filtered water whatsoever.
Let's find out here.
What up, Pookie? So, it says we got 8 people watching now. Today's topic is the giant reset. What we would do and how we would handle if basically there was a giant reset button and all of civilization got reset. There was no electricity, there was no fossil fuels used, there was no electronics, no nothing. So we're basically going back into the caveman era or very early humanization, civilization, whatever the fuck. Words, header, words. Stop laughing at me, Nathan.
Also, there's 265 micrograms of fluoride in brisk iced tea. It's okay. There's probably more in this stuff.
I was going to say, micrograms is a lot better than what was in the Mountain Dew.
Hey, man. 200 micrograms of acid? Ooh. You tell me what that's like.
Nipson's like, I don't want to take that trip.
Well, no, I've taken that trip many times. But
what up, Sped?
That'll put micrograms into perspective for you.
So, I guess I'll ask you first, Namson. What would be one of the first things that you would do if basically civilization had a giant reset and we lost everything?
So I think the real question here is, because you can't just roll out the gates like that. There's a little bit more to it. I think we have to know how civilization resets first. What is the method?
Well, if someone would have responded to a message that I sent them 4 hours ago on Twitter.
Listen, we can discuss this now, all right? Like that, listen, okay? Just because doesn't mean we can't. Let's drag it out a little bit. Let's involve the chat. This is fun. What do y'all think? What's a great way to end civilization? What is the most, I don't want to say most likely in your mind, because most likely, let's be real, is World War III nuclear war type shit. Like, we're all fucked from that one day. But aside from that, unless you really want to go World War III scenario, what do y'all think in the chat? What's up, Loopy? What's up?
What's up, Loopy? I'm glad this stream is fitting. Yeah, but I was going to reach out to you, and I was going to be
camera.
like... I was going to reach out to you, and because you have the better voice, I was going to be like, Namson, we need to come up with a whole plot, a whole story, like what happens that basically wipes
in
out
a world
99% of the population and we have nothing left.
Where 99% of the population is shredded to dust. Meteor hits the planet. That's a likely option. That's a likely scenario. What do we think? Are we going meteor? I'm down for meteor. I can definitely nuclear bomb or putting acid in the world's water. Listen, acid in the world's water system would change the world. It wouldn't end the world. I don't think it.
It depends
That's
on
what
what
we
type of
need.
acid you're talking about. Like if you're
That's fair.
doing hydrochloric acid,
That'd be pretty fast extermination. Yeah. Ah,
so we got a couple different options so far. We have nuclear bomb, basically worldwide genocide,
right.
and a meteor. I would.
These are both pretty catastrophic. We've seen the effects of one of these
Mhm.
allegedly, um, and then the other we've seen done in one space, and that's what, two spaces. I get three spaces, I guess, and it definitely made some fucking flatness to the Earth. That's put a few craters.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we feeling, guys? Are we feeling the meteor, the nuclear bomb? Fucking, you want to call it fucking rapture? We'll have fucking the holy war. What are we feeling, guys? Let's get creative. Don't give me this hoobo GB fucking volcano goes off, Earth crumbles. Me. Like, come on, give me something fun. Like, give me let's go Mad Max style on this shit. The Great Volcano. Literally, did I not just say a volcano? Mm, mm. Okay. Isn't
Well,
Old Faithful a fucking geyser?
yeah.
I mean, does that attach Old Faithful?
I'm not sure if that attaches to a volcano or not.
I don't know how geysers work, so it definitely might be a volcano. Um, yeah, no, it does. It actually does. It sits atop of a super volcano. The more you know. How about that? What would happen if super volcano erupted? Let's find the fuck out. 240 cubic mile range. Wow, that's crazy.
That's like all of the West Coast, and no,
Do you know how far 240 miles is?
you said cubic miles, right?
Yeah, but that
So
doesn't
that's
extend.
that, and that.
That's a square, not a west. The coast, the
Man,
coastline
shut
alone
up.
is fucking west coast line length. That shit's got to be like at least 1,000 miles. That's east coast. How long is the west coastline? What the fuck? That doesn't seem right.
Namson's ill prepared for this podcast. All the countries launch a nuclear bomb at the same time.
The fuck? That makes zero sense. Oh, that's how long is the U.S. shoreline? That's not what I typed. Okay. Let me read the chat. Um. Okay. Fucking. So what are we doing, guys? We going natural disaster, nuke. It doesn't really matter either way. Let's fucking we'll say a mixture of the two happens. How about that? A fucking nuke goes off, World War III goes out. We got that fucking fall. Well, no, I guess that is drastically different because then the world would become radioactive for millions of years probably. I don't know how long radiation takes to fucking fizzle out. But there is a drastic difference now that we think about it. If the world does go to shit from the most likely option of World War III, we really run into the aspect of life will be forever mutated. Not forever mutated, but at least for probably 100 million years minimum before things start re-evolving and changing in that way. Whereas if we have like a fucking like a meteor hitting Earth or a bunch of fucking super volcanoes emerge from the depths and rain hellfire upon us, that would change it now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say more of like a natural disaster because like that, there's no. It just takes out 99% of the human race.
Like we're
Uh,
talking the Mayan calendar type shit.
well, that was supposed to completely wipe us out. So we're talking like 2012 to where a couple
That's
people
that's what
built some boats and well, yeah, shut up, fuck you.
that
I
was the
hate you.
Mayan calendar.
I
Yeah.
hate you. Don't make me. I can't take you off this one. Shut up.
Listen. uh, yeah, no. So I think if it went by natural disasters, um, that would pose a big difference because there would be humans that survive.
Hmm.
Um, so I think really the method of reset is kind of the biggest factor into this, because life will restart at some point. That's inevitable. It's guaranteed. So I mean, shit. What does chat think? Genuinely, what B Mad said? Do y'all want a natural disaster or do you want some like fucking? How long are we feeling for a societal restart here? I really want to know what chat thinks is best. Let's get a 1 for natural disaster, a 2 for aided natural disaster.
A three and
I'm
a vote for
curious.
Boston Bad Boy to be the executioner.
Yes, a 3. If the ass don't get you, the politics will when you head west. Hey, oh, yeah, that's true.
What up, Fred?
Damn, this shit is so fucking sweet. Society was never stable. I mean, that's fair.
It was to a
Fuck
point.
it. Let's do natural disasters. I feel like natural disasters make the most sense. Um, okay, yeah. So if natural disasters happen, like let's say fucking a million hurricanes come out, a bunch of super volcanoes, earthquakes, we're just fucked, man. At some point, we're gonna have part of the Homo sapien uh, that survive, and I definitely think they'd make it. Mm, well, I don't know. It really depends on what part, actually. There's a lot of fucking if ends and buts about this. But we'll say hypothetically enough smart intellectual people survived to rebuild some form of tribe and civilization along some normal standards. Um,
All right.
I don't think it would.
Just,
Sorry, go ahead.
just for shits and giggles, everybody in this stream right now, we're the survivors.
Ooh,
We're the survivors. Oh,
I'll take charge as leader. Um, so first of all, we need to get rid of the weak. They will be the frontline defense, exploring all new eras. We'll send them in first, and when they report back to us with signs of life or no life, then we will take our stronger, and they will go in first. Some of the strong will stay back with the women and children. Um, no, but yeah, I think it's really hard to determine how long society would survive. I really do see it would become kind of like a Mad Max type scenario.
right.
Um, and finding food and like clean water would be the hardest thing, I think.
Yeah.
I think our human lifespans would lower down to like 30 to 40 years. Um, just purely for the fact of like it's a miracle how we live as long as we do the way we do things these.
Read about the
Yeah.
Georgia Guidestones. They are rules for civilization for a restart.
That's interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Okay,
I'm gonna look
so
that up.
maybe I wasn't 100% had a solid idea when I brought this idea up. Like my idea was basically civilization's okay, the earth is okay, but we take out all the things that are holding us back. We take out the politics, we take out religion, we take out all the stupid shit that people fight over. Money, all of that's gone. So if we were to start a civilization, we didn't use money, we didn't have religion, we didn't have
It'd be impossible. We wouldn't exist as a species. Period.
why?
Um, so the way the brain is wired, um, when you factor in the soul and everything, intrinsically, if we have no fucking technology, which is a big part of what you're saying, technology is 50% of evil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it is the root of much problem. So without that, we would go back to spiritual practice. The human being is inherently spiritual, literally just based off of our physical properties, based off of the way our mind is. We would go back to um, long thought, essentially. What people did before they had fucking video games, TVs, cameras, fucking crossword puzzles and shit, they would literally sit down and stare at nature. They would think. That by nature that is meditation, and meditation leads to the shit in the background. It just does. Like not my background, but this fucking stream background up here. Um, and essentially, the one of the biggest things too is like what Fred is saying here with hunter gatherers. Mushrooms were a huge part of civilization evolving. The stoned ape theory, if y'all read that, it essentially talks about uh, Homo, whatever the one is before Homo sapien. I always forget. But essentially, they were a hunter gatherer type tribe, and they would follow the prey. And what would grow in the prey of the poop, you may ask? Psilocybin mushrooms. And upon taking those psilocybin mushrooms, the brain expanded, linguistics formed, parts of the brains that don't normally connect began to connect, and in through these intense fucking trips that they were going on, they learned about the dimensions around. It would be impossible for us to completely avoid religion. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, but Loopy, there's a technical classification for it. Homo sapien tree.
See, I think a lot of the problem is within humanity is there's so many things that separate us. I was thinking like if we had a fresh start to where you didn't utilize the electricity, you didn't have social media, you didn't have a news organization constantly force feeding shit down your throat, and you just had it's kind of like those movies. Basically, it's like the zombie fucking apocalypse or whatever. You have a group of people in there. Obviously, you don't have utilities or whatever. How like we would survive? We
So,
would fight to survive because that's in our natural instinct.
Hatter, this is a really great topic you had actually picked because this no longer becomes a hypothetical stream. It becomes a philosophical stream. When you think about it, in any scenario where the world breaks down, what is the first thing that happens? What is the first most important thing that happens? What happens to the groups?
They split.
Okay. And in those splits, how do they make decisions?
They usually rely on one person or a couple people to be the leader or the main decision maker, I would guess.
And so that would innately happen, would it not? It is in our nature to wish to be led. No matter
Possibly.
what way you cut this, at some point, we cannot live as a collective, which is really kind of the maddening part, no pun intended, uh, is those of us who look forward to the great collective, which is what you see around us. This is the whole idea of oneness and being a collective. These faces, these it's called hyperspace, and it sounds fucking sci-fi, but look into DMT hyperspace. It's really interesting. Y'all will be fascinated. But the idea of oneness is just it's impossible. Like as humans at this current state until we evolve, we need leaders. We need someone to tell us the things. And in that scenario, every time it goes back to square one, every single time.
Hmm.
It's fascinating every single time, whether it be over the course of 5 years, 10 years, or 10,000 years. Every single time, it'll go back to that.
Interesting.
Unless anyone cares to prove me wrong. Like I'm really, really interested about this topic. This is a very, very debatable topic, and I would love for somebody to prove Nappy wrong. Give me one way that there would be no leader, that we would be able to survive as a collective off of the land without a leader.
Uh, I mean, technically, no one person would have to be in charge. Have you ever seen Stephen King's movie Storm of the Century?
Have you ever heard of Lord of the Flies?
Yes.
Yes, I have. I have heard of
But like you
Lord of the
you could
Sands.
you could do like voting that way to where okay, well we need someone to be a hunter. And then, you have how many people are in? We got 14 viewers in here now, plus me and you, so 16. You have 15 blue marbles and a white marble. Whoever gets the white marble, they're the hunter. Like, no one person technically has to be like, well, I'm going to be the leader, I'm going to be the hunter, I'm going to do this. We could work together collectively as a group. And
But then, but then that fails uh, in the base of strengths and weaknesses. If you assign me to go be a hunter, I'm not fuck off for hunting, man. I could never. Maybe I could figure that shit out, but I don't know. Maybe accountant. That would be good for me. I could do accounting.
you're
Um,
not doing money, though. So accounting's
well,
out of the
yeah, no,
picture.
but I know, but you get what I mean though. Like,
Right.
whereas if you give little Timmy down the street, if he fucking picks up the white marble and the 7-year-old is like, all right, let's see, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
it becomes it stems back to then we'll have to develop a set of rules. Well, little Timmy can't draw marbles because little Timmy is 7. The rest of us are 30. You know what I mean? Well, now little Timmy's upset that he has no say in this. Well, you have to have the rules then. Oh, you can only be in this if you're above this certain age. Well, then that creates rebellion, and it stems this same loop over and over again. I think the real way to getting to this point is not within Homo sapiens' reach. I think we'd have to evolve. We are
Okay.
not the end of the evolution, and that's kind of interesting. We we think we are. We think we are these higher end beings that know everything and everything about everything, but we don't. Plain and simply put, like 80% of the ocean is unexplored.
Right.
That's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
That's like
Isn't it like 85% of the world surface is ocean water?
yeah,
It's some
some
crazy number
ridiculous
like
like
that.
yeah,
So
it's above 75 for sure. But
the Georgia
I don't know.
Guidestones are a
It's
large monolith with rules for the world written in, I think, 10 different languages. Okay.
when were they written?
Hang on, Rock On. I'm looking that up. You keep referring back to the Georgia Guidestones, so we're going to look it up really quick. This was all supposed to be just like hypothetical, like we okay, so what about this scenario? No worldwide destruction, no nothing like that. We all pitch together, we buy an island, and then
Okay.
we all go on the island
An attempt to restart civilization?
and an attempt to restart a civilization for us as a group. So it would be like us and our
Okay.
family. There's 12 people here, so we're looking at maybe if you're just doing very immediate family, like 40, 50
Like
people
two,
tops.
I don't know if there's 12 different people in here, like immediate family. What are we considering immediate family? Because
Like
these are all very important factors.
spouse and children,
Okay,
or
okay.
partner and children.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, like 40 to 50 I could see. Um Interesting. I mean, the first step would definitely be to, again, like I said,
Leave
develop
me alone,
a sort of
Boston.
hierarchy, and develop groups, to develop the most important assets based on who can do what, like you said, having hunter gatherers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but contrary to what you said, I do think we would have to separate the groups and be like, this is your job. Like, can you do this job? No, then okay, what else can we do? Like, obviously, we'd have to get them in a job that they like to some degree, as much as you can like a job like that. But that would be like the first step, in my personal opinion.
Right. Because obviously we would have to find ways to, you know, make make a living and be able to trade for goods and wares. So let's say you go down there and you're growing mushrooms. So we're not going to sit there and stomp on your toes and grow mushrooms. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna build stuff with my hands. So I'm taking trees and I'm building like small chairs and shit for people to sit on. Like I would, I think it would be cool to go back to the barter system. I think that it's shitty that we're enslaved by the almighty dollar. Like you're born, it costs, well, it used to not cost as much, but now it costs close to 15, 20 grand depending on the situation. Schooling, like all this shit comes down to the almighty dollar. Like the bartering program, I think
Well,
it
see,
could be effective to a point.
to a point, yeah. I think the unfortunate thing is really in any scenario, like I said here, eventually it's going to come back to some form of currency. Like it's only a matter of time before Nampy starts collecting seashells and saying, "Well, these seashells, I mean, hey, like I'll give you 20 of my seashells for you to build a bench inside, my house so I have a place to sit." And you're like, oh, yeah, fucking, those are nice seashells. Like, let me take those. Yeah, 20 of them. And then you're like, hey, I got these seashells. I wonder if I can trade them for, some food. You go over to Jim, who's got some coconuts, and you're like, Jim, I'll give you 5 seashells for 3 coconuts. And Jim's like, fucking sweet there, bud. Let me get some of those coconuts or some of those seashells. And then, lo and behold, what has happened? You've created a currency. And
Right, but it
whether
doesn't
you
have to be a designated currency. Like it doesn't have to
and
come down to the seashells or the currency. Like I buy
no,
three
I
three
agree with
coconuts,
you.
and it's like okay, well, I see Namson's out there. He's hungry or he's thirsty, and I know there's milk inside the coconut. I could be like, okay, well, I know you grow mushrooms. Do you have any mushrooms that you could sell? And I'll trade you the coconut. Like it doesn't have to be a flat rate. Uh,
No,
kind of like
I
the
know.
Amish do. Like the Amish sit there and oh, I got the lumber. I need new tin for my roof. I'll supply you
But
some
see,
lumber for your shed.
then it becomes to a point though where eventually we will populate the island and eventually we will run out of resources. This is the biggest thing. When you look at the agrarian revolution, that's really exactly what you're talking about. There was no real money. They just traded things. People this fucking camera. There we go. It's not the camera, it's the goddamn light. But people traded goods and services for up until like the fucking late 1800s, like they've always been doing that. I mean, shit, people still even, hey, I'll fucking mow your lawn, you give me a case of beer. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit
Right.
happens still. It's not as prominent, but that's like exactly what you're saying here. While yes, it might, oh, Namson's trading out seashells, but I can trade you some fucking, I'll build some benches for your coconuts. It's like until something happens where now the a currency becomes, and that's the thing. It's like the goods and trading services still does exist. It's just in much less demand than a globalized currency, and there will become
Right.
a point on the island where we run out of resources. So then it comes down to, do we a search for more land? Do we build boats to get off the island, or do we b go off of what we have established?
Right.
And that's kind of my real point here is society will always reform itself into a form of money until we get to higher intellect. The system behind money in general is very flawed. Um, and I mean that's the point you're making here. But to get to a point where we could all see that would depend on intelligence levels, like plain and
Right.
simply put. And we're not going to get to that point with the current brain capacity we have. Like,
Right.
so that's kind of the interesting part of this is currently as Homo sapiens, we will always return to this. When you look at society throughout history, even ancient civilizations, they always had somebody in power, a high-spirited priest of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
and then the lower working class. Like it's terrible to say that, but
No, you're
like
absolutely right, though. I mean, you go all the way back to like the ancient Roman empires or the Egyptian, empires, and it's you had the pharaoh, you had royalty, then you had
Slaves.
the upper class, and then you had peasants, and then slaves. Like it's always been like that. What's up, Kayla?
Literally. The fact that there was a point where we used other people to do the work for free, and the only thing was sometimes feeding them. Like, that's insane to me. Like,
Right.
yeah.
It all comes down to two
Yeah,
things:
and
resources and breeding pool. If you have less than a couple thousand people, your gene pool will get screwed within a few generations. In other world deliverance.
mhm.
Right.
So I think a more interesting question would be what would happen if we all elevated to a new level of consciousness where we did no longer need these things,
Right.
where we did find ways to not need money, where we found ways to cultivate in days what would normally take months to grow. You know what I mean? Like to
Right.
the point where we had surpluses of food. We found better ways of generating energy. We found, dimensional travel is fascinating. So essentially, if I know I'm going slightly off topic here, but these are the next steps in. If you were to call it the Great Reset, because it would essentially be a reset of civilization, because we would be going to the next level
Right.
from Homo sapien to Homo fucking Homo X Men. Why not? Fuck it. Um, because trying to think of where I was going with this. Yeah. So dimensional travel. We look at our travel and it's extremely primitive. Like we're burning fossil fuels or holding little panels up to the sun to collect energy, and it doesn't get us very far very fast without burning a lot of resource. And the more things continue to grow, the more it's going to get like that,
Mm-hmm.
And plain and simply put, we're at this point in time where we do need to travel from point A to point B. The next step uh, is essentially teleportation. Well, teleportation isn't possible because you cannot go faster than the speed of light without breaking the universe. Like that's the
Right.
way our laws of physics works. As soon as you go the speed of light plus one, you've broken the universe. Like everything will fall in on itself and collapse. So in order to do that, we would have to find a way to either Star Trek that shit, make a clone of you, heal the first clone, and put the clone in another place. Like, which is insane, first of all.
Oh, okay. So what if? Okay. So hear me out on this.
Okay.
Pretend that I'm not completely stupid the way I say this because it might come out wrong.
I'll hear it. Don't worry.
But what if those rules and those laws of physics only apply in this universe? What if there's other universes out there that have evolved to where faster time travel could be achieved? Like different laws of relativity and laws of physics and all that shit were like completely different in a parallel universe.
So that would again really require us to form interdimensional travel,
Mm-hmm.
or at least universal travel, which would have to be again the speed of light. I mean, if we could go the speed of light, we could probably get to someone else's universe. Um, but dimensional travel would realistically be our best bet, um, because in hyperspace, which is the fourth dimension, um, the speed at which time moves is it's why you can do a fucking psychedelic trip and it'll take 8 hours will feel like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dilation of time, the way time moves is drastically different. So if we had the ability to go to another dimension, to a place that already had this evolved, uh, what then would the question be? Like I'm very very interested on that. Like what?
Like you said, if we went the speed of light plus one in
Mhm,
this universe, in this galaxy, that we would break everything. Everything would just
mhm,
because it would break the laws of physics.
right.
Okay, so let's say we're in this universe over here.
Mhm.
Hang on, I got markers. Damn it, we're gonna make this a full-on course. We're in universe X. Shit, it's gonna be backwards. Oh well. And we're trying to get. We go over here to universe Y, and here is where we are. we can only go the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second per second. So
So,
somewhere here, everything changes to where the rules and the laws of physics of this universe no longer apply over here.
so this is gonna blow your mind too. All right. So, do we believe in the Big Bang Theory? I'm curious.
I do, yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll be back with my whiteboard.
I'm sorry, everybody. Apparently, Professor Nampson's coming more prepared this time. What's up, everybody? How you doing? We got Gary
All
in
right.
there.
So,
Shit, you got the same size whiteboard.
we are, we'll call this right over here, center of universe.
What's good, KT?
This is where the Big Bang happened, right here, center of
Okay.
universe. Okay? We have a big old explosion that goes every single direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And along these ways, these go out forever, and they go at the speed of light plus one. This is the way that these things explode, which is how we know we could not go that way or that speed. We cannot go the speed of light plus one, because these things are going at that fast. So to go at the same speed would break our fucking universe. So along the way, we have millions of little planets that appear, throughout these different. Each one of these is a different galaxy, solar system, da 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 da. All these little places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these. We'll say we are here. So you are right there. This is the Milky Way galaxy, and we'll say right over here, past this fucking ray, is them. Or no, hold on. We'll do it this way. We'll make it a one on the same little area. So we'll say this is them.
Okay.
All right. So here we are. Here they are. So the way that the universe is always expanding, thanks to the Big Bang Theory, all right, means that we are infinitely going this direction, further and further away from the center of the universe over hither.
Mm-hmm.
We are going further and further away from this every single second at the speed of light plus one. So are they. They are also going this direction.
Okay.
Now, for us to be able to go back that way, we would have to, again, fight against this direction, which is just not possible because we cannot go that speed. So if they were to develop that speed, then they would have to also move the same direction as us rather than just continuing at this rate. Because if we continue at this rate, there's no way we can go. It'd be like going back in time, essentially, in a way. It wouldn't go back in time, but it would essentially be that way. Now, if these people down here, same thing, develop it, we could then, in theory, maybe go that way. But again, we'd have to go the speed of light in this direction, which we would die somewhere in here because who the fuck knows what's in here.
Right.
That being said, then we worry about fucking unknowns of outer space and shit. But either way, this is just not possible without breaking the fabric of our universe. But it's really interesting because no, be mad, they don't slow trajectory. There is none of that in space. Like it's not the same as gravity. But black holes are a whole nother fucking interesting subject as well. But it's not possible based on the laws of physics. We could never reach their planets essentially, which is why in theory we don't really have as many alien sightings as people think, is because the laws of physics don't allow that kind of travel. However, if we could break the laws of physics via interdimensional travel in a place where our laws of physics do not apply,
Right.
then things change.
That's what I was trying to say.
So,
is we get to a point
this
to
comes
where
back down every single time to dimensions. We would have to break dimensions before we could do any of it.
Thank you. She's a freaking moose. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is like we found a point to where our laws of physics no longer applied. Like they had a completely different set. Like, you could travel at, 5 times the speed of light in
Hmm.
this portion. Because, like you said, without there being, I know we're kind of getting off topic and going back to like the alternate species and alternate, well, alien life forms and that, but if there have been truly been sightings and there is an alien life force out there, which
Right.
I mean, there's so many solar systems out there. There's got to be life
It'd be
somewhere.
impossible to not. Yeah.
Like, how would they have? How have we had? Ugh, how would we have had sightings here if they hadn't already figured out interdimensional travel or intergalactical travel? CWA92, the laws of physics don't apply to my toilet. Nice to know, CW.
Well, it's possible as well that they could be perpendicular to us. Um, in which case, then they could still go the speed of light and not break the universe. Um,
So you're
really,
saying. So are you saying that
well, it's obviously possible because yeah, there definitely are alien sightings. Like, but for us to get there,
would we only
ah
be
man,
able to travel on that one plane?
yeah,
So
and
anything that lined up with us, we could travel to theoretically, because
in theory,
we wouldn't have to break the speed of light.
but the biggest problem, well, aside from figuring out, because we know how to go the speed of light, we just don't know how to stop. Like that's that's kind of the big deal, is doing that. But the other thing is like refueling. It's like we don't have sustainable
Right.
fuel. So, I mean, we do, allegedly, according to the Martians from that one Russian kid. Um, but that's crazy. If y'all haven't heard about that, look up Russian kid who's reincarnated as a Martian, or who was a reincarnated Martian. It's definitely weird. Um, but so like, what's the? Hold on one second. This is that thing that I said I might have to check.
Oh, you're good. I'm gonna get caught up on chat. We've kind of been neglecting chat a little bit, so the universe is expanding, though slower all the time. The only way that it would slow down, Fred, would be if it met another equal or greater force. Like, I believe it's Newton's law of motion or law of physics. An object in motion will remain in motion unless it uh, meets an equal or greater than force. Like, if an apple falls from a tree, it's going to continue to fall until it meets a force that's greater than it. Obviously, the ground is bigger than the apple, so when it hits the ground, it stops falling. How do we know they haven't done it yet? We don't. What is the equal and opposite reaction then? There has to be a counter to the force of the Big Bang. I would assume that though it's be mad that would be fall under like the black holes. Parallel to the Manhattan Project. I will have to look into that, Fred. I'm writing that down right now. 1940s. Parallel to the Manhattan Project. Okay. Aliens may be the future, us, and we may be in a simulation. I don't believe we're in a simulation. Like, there's so many choices that we make individually that it makes it really hard to be in a simulation. Do I believe that when they made the movie The Truman Show that they were kind of, anticipating how the future may be or how easy it would be to put us in a simulation. I believe that they were correct in those aspects, but I don't believe that we are, in fact, in a simulation. Uh, like Sphere, the book. A simulation can be time controlled. Is the Mandela effect a simulation updating and leaving bugs? Energy is limited. Even the whole universe eventually, the gravitation pull of black holes will overcome that energy. Interesting topic came into. What up, Mr. Ultimate Omega? Yeah, basically, I was wondering what it would be like to have like a giant reset. We were trying natural disaster, but we're in this vicious cycle to where everything just kind of falls back on itself. We're going to need some kind of government or some kind of hierarchy control, to make sure stuff gets done the way it is. Even if we went to the bartering system and got away from money, because money is a huge issue, like Namson pointed out, it's still a form of currency, whether you're trading this and this or, a piece of money that has a monetary value attached to it. But yeah, I'm definitely, I was excited to get into this one, and I'm really enjoying the feedback and everything that you guys are giving us in the chat, that Namson's brought up. Definitely an eye-opener. The Mandela effect is so freaky. So, my question to you guys is, okay, so let's say there was a natural disaster. We still have animals roaming the earth. We still have access to resources. Okay. The pandemic. Let's say it was more severe than what it was. We still have, the natural resources. No businesses, nothing like that. How would we survive at that point? We may have already done so, Hatter. The live stream we're in may be the past with avatars we use day to day. We won't know until the future. Maybe. I don't know. I make some pretty stupid decisions. It's hard for me to believe that somebody would have us in a simulation and I would make the amount of stupid decisions that I make. If you look how gullible people are with the internet, we are being manipulated. It's not that big of a step to tell us complete fiction and us believing it. Oh, yeah. Well, we can already see the moon and sun during the day. One more big solar flare from the sun will push past the layers of the ozone away. I say solar flares lead to the ice age. Interesting. We never even thought about that as possibly being a natural disaster. Many people wouldn't survive. Well, yeah, I understand a lot of people wouldn't survive, and it would definitely come down to survival of the fittest at that point. Unless they wanted you to make stupid decisions. Hey, Hatter, this is kind of off topic. What do you mean? Oh. Okay, then. Just take your message back. I think something will collide into our path, causing chaos in how our rotations occur. Well, the way everything's set up, even if we slowed down, that would screw everything up. Never mind. No, what's up? What's on your mind, Cherokee? send me a message on Facebook. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking. That's kind of what this dab of madness is everybody to be able to come in and, you know, basically it's just like a campfire. You're just sitting around and you all are spitting out ideas, and then maybe we can come to a cohesive possibility at the end that would be functional. How couldn't another Big Bang be occurring all the time? There can't be just one. Interesting. You make a very valid point. Maybe that's why there's meteors. Because obviously the meteors had to come from somewhere, right? So, Big Bang happens here, and a Big Bang happens here. Obviously, the force is going to push stuff out, and stuff's going to collide together, making the meteors. And then, they come by our solar system, and then it just gets stuck in that loop from the gravitational pull. Think tank. Oh, what up?
Damn, camera kind of stretched the frame. What's good? Oh shit! I made a burp. Uh,
Yeah, we haven't met. Oh crap! Yeah, I forgot. We met that goal. I can't wear hats during live streams anymore.
oh shit!
My bad.
Yo, does that mean? Nah, I can wear hats. Fuck you.
Yeah, you can wear hats.
I was gonna say, should I take one for the team? And I was like, nah. Like,
B Mad brought up a really interesting question, Namson. I'm not sure if you were here to hear it or not. Uh, B Mad said, "How couldn't another Big Bang be occurring all the time? There can't just be one."
I mean, so the Big Bang Theory itself is pretty interesting. It basically like there was nothing, and then suddenly there was everything. So I mean, the Big Bang Theory is one of the things that I personally cannot wrap my head around. Um, like I believe it. I definitely believe it. It exists. I just find very difficult. Find it to be a very difficult time to actually think about it because
Right.
it's something that to me just really doesn't make sense. Um, and like BMAD said, for there to just be one would be kind of but then simultaneously, if there's two, we definitely would have run into something else by now. I feel like I could be wrong.
Well, that's why I brought in, obviously we have meteors and everything else like that. So
Right.
maybe there was a Big Bang here and a Big Bang here, and just pushes shit together. Stuff collides that would create the meteors, and then
So that could definitely happen without an additional Big Bang theory happening, just off of the way particles expand in general, um, and gravitational pulls of things. That's really what causes like asteroids and meteors is a gravitational pull from other things,
mm-hmm.
bringing them in such a way that they cause those sort of problems.
Okay. And Mr. Ultimate Omega's in here, and he was. Did you ever check out his other song or no?
I have not had the chance to yet. I
Okay.
wish I had the chance to do fucking anything this
No,
weekend,
it's
but I
it's okay. I just
no,
figured I'd throw it out there.
got you. I'm just saying, like it's been a busy week. I definitely I need to get to it. I know it's on the list.
But he brought up a possibility to where a natural disaster could kind of throw us into a reset.
Yeah.
Um, like a solar flare burning away the ozone layer and then throwing us into another ice age.
So that would be really interesting. Yeah. I've considered the solar flare option as well. And if we lost our ozone layer, that'd be definitely a problem. Uh, Um, but yeah, so I mean, that would kind of put us into a very primitive state because it's really interesting. I mean, no matter what way you cut it, we're gonna have to evolve. That's
Right.
really the biggest thing. Like we're not gonna be able to get by until we evolve. We can't regress and we can't progress. It's just humans have become so conditioned for comfort, and that's really like the downfall of humanity is comfort. You can't
Right.
put Steve from down the street into the fucking wilderness, say, "Here's a fucking knife, survive." Like no, like that shit won't happen. Like Steve is gonna die.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's really interesting because we like many animals do it when you put them in captivity. We've lost many of our unnecessary things, like fucking our skills to hunt, our fucking skills to find shelter and shit. Like so much of us are ill prepared for that shit. So yeah, I mean, we would definitely regress if we did have a natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I was gonna say we'd have no choice. It's either that
yeah,
or die.
well, and that's another option too, is that humankind becomes extinct. In which case, um, I think another interesting aspect there would be like, what would be the next superior, uh,
Fungus.
what
Fungus.
fungus?
You said that we're more biologically connected to fungus than we are.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean fungus is superior. Fungus is fungus.
Well, yeah, but if we're biologically connected, then somewhere down the road.
Well, what I find really interesting too, because when you look at the chart of how we've evolved and the timeline, our progression is somewhat linear in each gap
Mm-hmm.
until you reach to the nomadic group that would have been following around their prey, that would have been eating the mushrooms, the stoned ape theory. And what's really interesting off of that is we sponge from fucking fungus, like we split off from it. But down this line, this is the Homo blank line, and then this is where fungus goes. Somewhere along the way, we eat fungus and we instantly like double in brain size. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's very interesting to meet the theory that if you were to perhaps, you know, meet another animal that coincides then with
Right.
fungus that ends up leveling up to a different degree. You know what I mean?
Fred says, but if there was another Big Bang, it would be by definition, be a different universe, which is accurate. Nobody knows
Yeah.
what's beyond the universe. Maybe nothing. Maybe another universe expanding at us. That's very possible.
What's really interesting to me is that somewhere there's the edge of the universe. And that edge keeps going somewhere, but somewhere there is an edge.
Right. What
And if
happens
you
at
were to
that
get
point?
to the other, that's what I was going to say. If you were to get to the other side of the edge, would you be in a mirrored world? Like, would the entire universe be itself mirrored? Like,
Hmm.
that's the real question.
The way I see the universe is like a canvas of nothingness, and each Big Bang that creates a new galaxy also helps expand the canvas, making sure that they don't connect while evolving and growing.
Pretty interesting. I can see that.
That's an interesting concept, Omega. Gary says artificial intelligence. No, because that
That
still relies on mankind giving them their intelligence.
ever. That's if you really want to talk about it, this is actually a good topic for the Great Reset now that I think about it. Because this is the way we're headed with AI. Artificial intelligence is coming to the point where it is becoming sentient in a way. Um, I mean, you look at something like the YouTube algorithm, for instance. The YouTube algorithm is constantly changing at all times. And it doesn't do this with man assistance, it does this on its own now. And that's machine learning, which is interesting because the more machines learn, the more they will eventually take over. Like they in theory should at some point overtake humanity, like some Terminator type shit. And at machine learning rate, I mean, their evolution wouldn't be just exponential. It would be at such speed we couldn't fathom it. Like it may become to the point where they become fucking fly. I hate flies, man. Anyways, uh, it would become to the point where it would evolve so fast that they may no longer even feel the need to exterminate humans. They may find a way to essentially poof into nothingness, and it's really insane. I don't know. Like machine learning is crazy.
B Man says fungus, aka algae, has already traveled from outer space to land on our soil.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Purple. Fred says some people theorize life got jump started by microbes on meteorites. I mean, it had to start somewhere.
Well, and
Honestly.
that's the thing. It really, fucking fungus is the most likely option. It really is. Like just off of the DNA that we share with fungus, like alone, and also you think too, for every 3 feet of tree roots on Earth, there is 2,200 feet of mycelium, which are the web uh, the the micro webs that essentially colonize the Earth. Like think about that. For every
Mm.
3 feet of tree roots, 2,200 feet of mushroom roots, essentially. Like, but yeah, no, fucking Terminator, man.
iRobot. That movie was kind of trippy when that first came out. I watched that
That's
and I
what
was like,
freaked me out.
interesting.
I'm like, is that what's gonna happen? There's no Arnold Schwarzenegger to save us.
I just watched Shane Dawson last night. There's a subject of living in a simulation. It's an interesting video. Yeah, I know Gary says to read Nick Bostrom. We're most likely in a simulation. I don't think so. Like
Yeah.
we literally have too much free will to be living in a simulation.
Or is that how we're programmed to think?
Yeah, but if we were in a simulation, I don't think that we would have the concepts that we have. We wouldn't have the concept of, you know, right and wrong. We wouldn't have the concept of
Why wouldn't we?
true deep beliefs because other people would be controlling, our movements, our actions, and
Necessarily. I mean, we could be creatures placed from another thing, like guinea pigs into a cage that's ever generating in front of us, adapting to the things we do and don't say. It's like, who knows how intense supercomputers are in realms around our own, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Damn, I haven't even taken a dab enough, or a dab yet. Come on, what's going on?
um, it lives from death and decay. We are microbes together. When we die, we release DMT.
Also factual.
Interesting.
So,
I believe our Earth has been through 4 rebirths.
why do you say that? Why four?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Gary, that is an insane point. All right? Because this shit, that kind of ties into what I'm. Okay. So I had a trip recently, and one of the things I had ended up fucking saying to myself, which had tied into another trip. I was talking to Sydney, my fiance, and I was like going like this, which is not like a nervous tick of mine that I ever do. But I had said to her like, I just feel so limited by this, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And like, it almost felt like it was something talking through me, but it was like, I am so limited by this, and it starts shaking my hand at her, and I'm like, and Nick in there, Nampson, he's like, whatever's talking through me is talking about my body. Like, what is it saying? And it could very well go with what you're saying, the avatar theory there. It's interesting. I was gonna take a
Nah, camera's mirrored on Discord.
dab.
I don't have a fancy camera like Nampson.
Well, my fucking fancy camera picks and chooses when it likes to work, so don't even trip. On the topic though of the Great Reset, what are the things that you think would have to happen for us to elevate to a perfect society? Like, what things would we have to get rid of?
I don't think that we would have to get rid of things. I think that
Albeit like
the basis of, let's say, the United States, we can all agree that the United States was based on solid fundamentals. They just stopped following those fundamentals.
in your perception, perhaps, but continue.
How wasn't it? Which of the Bill of
So
Rights do you disagree with?
I have no problems with the Bill of Rights, but in perception is everything, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. What is okay to one is not okay to another. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like
obviously, look at
perception.
Putin.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's where the real one of the biggest downfalls of like society will happen is no matter what one deems as okay, the other will not.
Right.
But continue. Like aside from those.
I mean, basically, ideally, the best way to do it is to remove corruption from the government. And what would have to happen for that to take place is the government would have to stop relying on financial gains.
Yeah, I could see that. They would literally have to be a public servant.
Yeah, they would be a public servant and they would not be an entity or a business. Because once the government became or stopped
Okay.
being we the people and started being we the corporation, like that's where you
So
can see the downfalls.
let's then look at this not as the Great Reset, but the Great Movement. How would we get to this point? How would we make it in such a way where the government would be like that? What would be the steps to get there?
A lot of people getting shot because if you try to overthrow the government, they're going to look at you as, treason and all that shit, even though it's in, the Constitution that if, the government's not doing their job and working for the people like they should, then we have the right to overthrow the government if they're putting us in more danger than they are helping us. But, you go up against the government, and then the government's going to be like, yeah, no, get rid of these fucking crazy people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say then perfect society would be something along the lines of like a Amish like commune, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I can see how they have a really good society. Um, Obviously, they trade the goods, they barter, kind of like we were talking about before. They have no like medical insurance, so everybody chips in what they can to help out for medical bills and that. But that again, a giant fucking corporation that can go fuck themselves because healthcare sucks. But
Fred is really man, this I love it how it always comes back to like this asset of
theoretical
humanity.
communism.
Well, the next thing he says.
Except it doesn't work because we're greedy creatures. Well, yeah, but like that's like if something happened to where Mr. Ultimate Omega said before, like there's a giant solar flare that throws us into an ice age, we wouldn't have a choice. We would literally just we have the fight or flight response. We would either run until we die or we fight to survive. That's all there is to it. Global expansion has surpassed what our world will tolerate. This planet is in deep shit. You're not wrong.
Oh shit. How the fuck can you hear me right now? What the fuck? Was I
It,
super quiet?
yeah.
Okay.
I,
Is
I
that
went
better?
I went like this a couple times. I was like, damn, did I my headphones turned out or something? To act, to
Um,
hinder and suppress, a controlled act of saving them from their nature.
but see, I think the other really interesting thing is exactly what Fred said is we are greedy creatures. And this kind of comes back to the idea of needing to evolve. Like we need to take the next evolutionary step to where or we need to regress to the point where we don't view money as a resource or,
Mm-hmm.
trading systems. It's like if you fucking, but then that goes to a whole nother set of rules. Then that then becomes the biggest, the alpha can just take the shit they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really interesting because when you look, while humanity is the uh only creatures really that have to pay to be on this earth, which I find fucking fascinating. Um, other creatures uh pay based on chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
Only in our species can you be the smallest, but also the most powerful. Look at someone
Right.
like Bill Gates. He's in the top 1% of 1%. Tiny little nerd dude that made fucking Microsoft. You know what I mean? Made a
Right.
computer. And he's got the power he has because of the way our civilization works. But that doesn't happen in any other species.
Right. Well, you said, like you kind of alluded to, we're the only ones that have to pay on to, be on Earth. Well, why is that? Because of governments or corporations, and they get their
Right.
money one way or the other.
Well,
There's
and
not a
and that
single
kind of
government out there that doesn't get their money.
and see that's the thing. There's not a single government out there. All these other governments that all thought they could do it better, one way or another, led to the almighty dollar, led to the fundamentals of funds.
Right.
And that comes because each area
Why?
has its own set of trials and tribulations. Like places that get cold that can't grow crops during a certain time of the year. They got to get things somehow, you know what I mean?
Right. But it wasn't always like this. Like, why do we depend on a currency so much? Why do we
Population,
put so much value into a
supply and
currency?
demand. We would need a form of birth control to completely we would have to have either some form of mass genocide where the earth could support our population again, or we would need some form of like intense birth control that could straight up just cut out half the population. And another thing is we would need to stop putting in resources. I hate to say this, into the elderly. Like once you get past a certain point, it's like the amount of money that we spend into keeping people alive. And I don't. I'm not saying here we need to go out and fucking kill the elderly. Y'all don't go kill your grandparents. We ain't about that here. We don't encourage that here at Mad Hatter Dab of Madness Nampy Incorporated, trademark pending. All right, we no. It would have to. We would have to essentially spend less time holding on to the weak, meaning the sick that are born with deformity. And this sounds fucked up, but this is really the only way we could do this. Like, we spend so much time and resource adhering to the weak links, and it's that old fucking that age old fucking saying, we can only move as fast as our weakest link. We're only
Mm-hmm.
as strong as our weakest link. Like, the evolution of humanity is held back by us holding back onto these things. And it's terrible to say it, but that's the biggest thing is like we cannot do that. We'll never get to that point while we hold on to the weak parts of ourselves.
Damn, Be Mad is going along with what you said. Stop putting resources into the elderly. It's like if you can hit 100, it's on you. You had a decade. I mean, century. But like even that, like I I see where you're going with this. Like, yeah, we
Mhm.
are overpopulated. That is a big problem.
And we're gonna
But
keep getting more and more overpopulated
right, I don't know. I guess
exponentially.
this was like a half baked idea when I tossed it out to you. because I really wish I could come up with a concept to where a good chunk of the population gets taken out. We have no other resources, like no cash, no government, no nothing like that. Like, what would need to happen for us to become a civilization and be able to survive and thrive?
I'll
We
give
would
you
have to
a one-word
retract.
answer.
We would.
Evolution. We would have to evolve.
I don't think it. I don't think we would have to evolve. You said earlier that we would have to go back
Well,
and
if we regress,
stop putting a monetary value on things. But then
but
I
in order
think
to
we're
get
just
that,
gonna circle right around. It's just gonna be a vicious cycle because it's just gonna come back to where, okay,
yeah,
here's the government, here's the monetary gains, here's this, here's that.
and that's why I say the only way to get past this would be to evolve. Like we would have to get to higher consciousness, higher intelligence, and the way to that, you ask, mushrooms, mushrooms and meditation, y'all. The two M's of life. You want to be an Emunaire, you gotta get the M's, dog. Mm.
But the concept of the alpha is mostly created from stories of standing out. The old alpha was the ones that saw the whole picture. That's an interesting look on it, Omega.
Please space. No. Yeah. Hey, wouldn't that be something though, Tom? That's not unlikely. Hey, what did Tom say? Or wait, what was the one you just read?
Mr. Ultimate
Oh, the
Omega.
alpha thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing with that is too, though, what happens in our society? This is great. When a father in those stories would be challenged by his son for the position of alpha, you know, it's like you could go off the wisdom aspect that maybe they know what's best for the whole tribe, but like that's not necessarily always the true. Big does not always mean strong. You know what I mean? It might mean physically. This fucking fly. I swear to God. It might mean physically strong, but how many times has a great leader, the alpha, led their fucking tribe into death
Very
via
true.
trying to take more, via
Napoleon.
trying to not go during the winter because oh we can make it here. It's like you see it in movies and TV all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and in history all the time as well. Not just movies and TV. Nick, come on, took a fat dabber, y'all.
Astronomy University. No, it's
Hey,
screwed up. The Chinese limited their reproduction 50 years ago, and they're almost zero population growth. But they all wanted their one kid to be a boy, so they don't have enough girls. Well, that's because if you had a kid, in order to, you could keep your kid no matter what the gender was. But if you wanted to try for a boy, your daughter's got, which kind of goes back to what Namson said. Like, you have to kind of kill off the weak. I mean, if you look at any kind of fucking pack, a wolf pack, if one of them's injured, they take out the injured party. I mean, it's
I don't know if wolves do that. Oh, you mean like if they're circling their prey? Yeah, 100%.
yeah, but like
Natural selection, bitch.
even with wolves and that, like Nampson said, we're only as strong as our weakest link. We can only go as fast as our weakest person can go. With wolves, they put the weakest ones up front,
Yep.
or the oldest ones, and then the alpha wolf is actually at the back of the pack protecting
Yeah,
everybody.
watches the whole pack. Yep. And see, that's the other option, Gary, is we could end up becoming cyborgs essentially.
Hmm. But could it be that we are looking at it as overpopulated in a greedy world? The ethics created to cherish life, like if a human overdosing simply let died, the loss versus the gain. I have different feelings about that because I've actually been in the EMS field and I've actually revived certain individuals multiple times because they've overdosed on stupid drugs. I did what I was told. I did what was legally required of me. Everybody fucks up. Everybody makes mistakes. I'll give them that. But how many times you got to keep making the same mistake? You know what's happening. Like, if someone didn't find you, you wouldn't be here. You'd be dead if you
Yeah.
weren't brought back with a Narcan. And I'm sorry, but Narcan is free and handed out like candy on Halloween night. But people that are allergic and need EpiPens, or people that are diabetic and need insulin, are getting charged hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month for their medications.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with this world.
Facts.
Stand
That's
up,
facts.
stand up and applaud the drug addicts, while people that didn't ask for the shit to be wrong with them
And it's because
are
think about where
dying
the
because
money
they
comes
can't
from.
afford. We
Think
paid
about
for
the
it.
money. Well, when you think about the people that get the free drugs that stop you from overdosing on heroin, right? What do after that? Do they, wow, this is the time I'm gonna get clean now? Wow, no, they're
No,
prob
they
nine
go right
times out
back
of
to
10 they're
heroin.
going out and buying more heroin. You know who's probably supplying a lot of the world with heroin? The fucking government. And if not, the fucking cartels that pull the strings within the government. Like that shit still happens. It's
Oh
not like
yeah.
a TV thing. That really does happen. And it's like, where's the money in fucking giving somebody, you know, the medicine that's gonna keep their life going? There is none. But fucking sell it to them. That's a whole nother thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
you give away a cure to somebody who's gonna go buy more drugs anyway, there's still money in that.
Yeah.
There's lots of money in that. Fucking hospital bill money in that, baby.
Well, just like, that's why they'll never find a cure for cancer. That's why they'll never find a cure for, any of these other
They have cures for these
life
things.
threatening diseases. It's a business. It makes profit. They're not going to give that would be like a car company being like, "Oh, well, I'm going to stop selling a car with wheels." No, you need to put the wheels on it and sell it as a whole
Right.
package. Like,
Not when they figure out this hover car shit, they won't.
shit, they were talking
Fuck your
about that back
wheels
in
then.
the 90s. You still need somehow to land.
Yeah, like a soft rubbery system.
Like
Or
a
like
tire.
pegs, like a helicopter.
Helicopters don't have
Whatever works.
pegs. They have
They have
running
like these
boards.
little rail feet peg things where you put your fucking, you know what the fuck I mean.
Just wanted to share a blessing. My daughter's car broke down, and a woman she never met gave her $200 to get it towed. That's amazing.
Hey, what a
Well,
lady.
yeah, huge shout outs to her, because humans and
Not everyone's
civilization
bad.
isn't like that anymore. 90% of them. Also, more Chinese born in the past are more than the ones born now, so their median age is getting older and older. Oh, absolutely, because they got strict on their birthing rules.
You mean skids? What?
Cool whip.
Cool whip.
You do it so much better than me.
Cool whip. I don't understand the big deal, Brian. Cool whip.
But here's a question for
Want some
everyone in
cool
the
whip?
chat. With population going nuts, if the world's governments handed out a pill and told you 1 in 5 would die, would you fight or swallow?
Bring on sweet release, baby. I came up with a fascinating idea today. Um, it's based on religion. If y'all care if I share that, I know that can be a touchy subject for
Yeah.
people.
It's a dab of madness. We touch on
Fuck it, we're
touchy
gonna talk
subjects
about it.
on a daily basis or a weekly basis.
So today is a very important day for me, y'all. Today, March 16th, 2022, is the day, and hear me out on this. I stopped believing in God, period. And this has been very difficult for me to come to this conclusion. I've recently been going along my spiritual journey and everything. But today, I was raised Catholic. I'm a recovering Catholic. I can say that now. And I'm not sure entirely where I stand on Jesus yet. Because Jesus, we know, was a real person. Now, if he was a higher entity of some kind, and then Constantine, one of the people that literally pushed, and Gary, hold on, I'll get to that. Constantine, one of the people that literally pushed to get Jesus fucking killed, was one of the fucking, was, sorry, not one of, the first pope of the Catholic religion. History is written by the victor. So history, the book, the Bible, fucking written by, those people of that time. Fucking, anyways. So the main point that I came here to was, and this doesn't really tie in with, I wrote this shit down. Hold up.
I'll be right back. I gotta run to the restroom.
I gotcha. So today I'm grateful beyond compare because I've come to the biggest realization. The kingdom of God is a place of fear, a place of deceit. While I've not settled on Jesus Christ, I feel as though the God in heaven I've learned of are not true. I feel as though it's designed to keep a set of rules strict upon us. Society has conditioned us to have no free time, allowing religion, a concept that by itself isn't overly harmful, to occupy a vast majority of our time. Why is knowledge forbidden? The pursuit of knowledge is encouraged through all of our developmental stages. Yet we discourage it as soon as it threatens us, our principles, or our core beliefs. Why is it that an all-loving, all-knowing God would forbid the tree of knowledge, as it has been forbidden in modern society? We fear death, as it is the fear of uncertainty of what lies beyond. A good Christian who fears death or its embrace is not a true Christian at all. How could someone claim to seek an afterlife of paradise and fear the boat that takes you there? If you were to fear the boat that takes you there, therefore fearing death, you are essentially denouncing your belief in God. Because what is heaven but paradise? And if you say that you don't want to die because you still have things left here, then you're denouncing God's will. You're denouncing what God has ordained for you to happen. Not only that, you're prioritizing your moral life over an absolute eternity of paradise with the person you idolize, you make claim from. Like, to me, this is just, it was mind-boggling to think about, and I was totally sober, by the way. But yeah, to fear death is to prioritize your life, and to prioritize life is to go against God's will if it's your time to die, number one. Number two, it's, to doubt what's beyond. I don't know. It was something that really made me think and say, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I don't need it anymore. I don't need religion anymore. I do believe there's a higher consciousness that is godlike with it. So I'm reading this book right now. I highly recommend y'all check this out. It will really open your eyes. I truly do. Hey, thank you, Mr. Ultimate Omega. I appreciate that. The book that I'm reading is called Psychology and Alchemy. There's a free audiobook of it on YouTube, I think. Highly recommend checking it out. But in this book, it's so interesting because the way it describes religious people, they're so quick to exclaim any phenomenon that happens that is in a sixth sense type way or in a power that's higher than their own. They're quick to describe it, if it fits their agenda, as a miracle, a sign from God, an act of an angel. Whereas if something happens in a negative, something that does not fit that narrative, they'll dismiss it as supernatural or paranormal. You know what I mean? It's like you can't inherently have these paradoxes within religion, and this all is talked about in this book. It's like, can 1 equal 3?
Right.
No.
It's contradictive.
Yeah.
I mean, we as humans are told to, value what we're given. God gives us life, and we're supposed to value it and, cherish it for as long as we have. But we're not supposed to, be afraid of losing what was given to us. Maybe that comes down to greed. But even that is a deadly sin.
And I used to think, too, one of the biggest things that I realized, I used to make fun of, like, the hippy-dippy motherfuckers, the fucking peace and love and energy, like, fucking on a towel, fucking just enjoying, fucking rolling in the sun and shit. Like, I looked at that shit. I was like, what the fuck is this person doing? Like, fucking psycho. Like, but that's not the same shit. Hold on, I gotta take this. Well, in a second. Let me just fucking belt this shit out. Hold on. Yo, give me like 1 second. I'll call you back in like 2 seconds. Anyways, um, but fuck, what was I saying? Son of a bitch. What the fuck? Just say it.
Listen, you can't take the goldfish brain from me, Namson. That's mine. It's
Hold up.
trademarked, motherfucker.
Let me fucking rewind a second.
Bullet, to answer your question, no, we've already reached the shaving one. It's just Miss Hatter hasn't been available to shave it yet. We're going to be doing a reset stream this weekend. So we'll probably have her shave it. And it was actually brought up in an idea in chat to sit there and like take little squares
Like
out of the head per donation until it's all gone. But go ahead,
ooh,
Namson.
that's
Now that you're
good. I
back on
like that
track.
actually. No, I fucking like that idea. That's fucking good. Um, so I used to make fun of the hippy dippy motherfuckers, and like my mom would encourage that shit. Like she pushed that on me, and she's devout fucking Catholic, obviously. And I always used to make fun of them and shit, and like think, wow, like what a fucking bunch of weirdos, man. And then like I started to get into psychedelics. I started to get into the oneness, the fucking meditation, the practicing like cleaning your fucking body out of the garbage that's in it. Like I was a fucking crack addicted, sugar addict, not crack addicted, but sugar was my crack. Sugar addicted, fucking hyperactive child, man. Like you couldn't keep me off that shit. Now it's like I try to avoid it at all costs. And it's like if I would have like told myself I would have gotten to this point. And something I realized why I always made fun of those people was because I hated them because I couldn't be happy like the way these people are happy.
Right.
When you follow the word of God, you live in fear every single moment of every single possibility of being tempted all around. Living in fear is not a way to live at all. You're
Exactly.
not living when you live for the kingdom of God and heaven that we are taught about. That's so pushed, so on a fucking dollar bill. What does it say? In God we trust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The I know this is a little off topic, but people are talking about the goals in chat quite a bit. The last goal is where I have to do the victory screech, and then it has been decided unanimously by people in the chat that once we reach that goal, they want more goals to achieve, and we are currently $11.30 away from reaching all of the goals. So once we reach that, we'll come up with new goals, and yeah,
I'm gonna make that call real quick.
you're
So give
good.
me like 2 seconds.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to schedule out the live streams to where uh, we do the. We'll probably do like the nose hair removal, the wax armpits, the whipped cream pie, shave head, all in one stream. The turtle stream might be a little bit because I have to get a costume and everything for that to go on. Uh, if you guys want, we can kind of combine that to the next stream, kind of like we did the duck stream, to where everybody that donates, I have to say I like turtles. You guys might find it more funny if I'm in a turtle costume. Check your Facebook Messenger. Yeah, I seen that. The only problem with that is my kids are only here every other weekend, so they wouldn't be here till almost the end of the month. Tens? What do you mean, be mad? The god is lower caps Nancy, which means it's not a pronoun, it's an object, not an entity. No, 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 no. That's not the way it's gonna work, Odd Tom. Ninja Turtle, do it. Hatter, never say we won't reach that goal. Oh, a tens unit? I'm not sure who said it, but someone said that they wanted me to get like a labor simulator. The God on the dollar bill. I don't even have a dollar bill, so I can't verify that.
No, I'm back to the fucking. God damn it! If I
Well,
turn it off again, will it come back?
I was gonna say, turn it off, smack it, and turn it back on. Dun, 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 dun. No,
Oh well, fucked it up.
God has condensed you. You don't believe in me? I make you small.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's not to say I don't believe in a higher being or power. I just don't believe it's Christian God, Bible God.
Tens unit and dice roll. Well, that's the same thing as a tens unit, Tom. Honestly, electrical stimulation. That's basically the same thing. But we don't have to worry about that because we haven't reached that goal yet. So we don't need to worry about new goals. Stop thinking about new goals till we reach the current goals.
Yeah, how fucking weird is that shit too? On the back of a fucking dollar bill with it saying "In God We Trust" right across this little area right there. It's got the fucking pyramid right here. Like I don't
Yep.
know, that shit always fucking the all-seeing eye there
Yeah.
always fucking struck me as weird shit. It's
Well, it's weird because, like, I know one of the topics that we want to discuss in the future is conspiracy theories. And I know the all seeing eye is a huge conspiracy theory. Like, if you guys have ever watched the movie National Treasure,
yeah. Sorry.
literally, that's all it's about. That and, the Freemasons, and it's a great movie. I love the fucking
Illuminati.
movies. Yeah. Well, Illuminati is more or less in the Da Vinci Code and Angels versus Demons.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't looked much into the Illuminati. I gotta check more about that.
Yeah, because Illuminati goes more into the Catholic side of it. The all-seeing eye is more or less the... I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's trying to be secretive or not. Because isn't Illuminati to where it's like the anagrams or whatever the fuck it's called, to where...
I don't know, but their symbol is the fucking eye and the triangle. Like if you look up Illuminati symbol, it's the eye and the triangle, just like on the dollar bill.
Right.
So, but I've heard that they've been disproven.
It's also got the Masonic symbol.
Freemasons, yeah.
Great movies.
See, I
Heaven
fuck with
doesn't
that,
have to
Gary.
be an unknown place, faith-based. Nothing wrong in holding that view. It can be achieved in the physical world, Namson. What's required is achieving pleasure, peace, and euphoria. Well, then, Namson needs to open up that tote behind him and give us all some pleasure, peace, and euphoria.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just a dirt cake growing some normal food, salad, mushrooms. That's all it is.
Portobello's,
A dirt
best
cake.
kind out there.
I don't think those look like portobellos. We'll call it
Shut up
something
and
else.
go with it, motherfucker.
There's other foods that kind of look like that one. Ugh.
I cannot express myself about the religion, but one thing I can say, Roman Catholic Church screwed people's mind 500 years ago. More of dark cloud in the head. Catholic Church is not Christian, period. No,
Christianity is direct root of Catholic Church. It's
exactly.
a direct root
It
of
all branches
Catholicism.
off because people had dick measuring contests. No offense, I'm going to be really blunt here. People had dick measuring contests saying, my dick's bigger than yours, and then they got proved wrong, and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go prove it myself, and then, ta-da! That's why there's over 4,000 religions.
I think we need to get somebody in power, all right? This is the only way we can evolve as humans. Hear me. I will run if you will support me. I think we need to make it a mandatory household requirement, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, any of that shit. Household requirement after the age of. Now, fuck it. We'll start microdosing the kids as soon as they can eat baby food. I think we need to put mushrooms into everybody's food diet. We need to make it happen. They're proven to grow your intellect by anywhere from 4 to 10 points, depending on the type you're consuming and the frequency. We won't go into that. But there are neurogenic and adaptogenic mushrooms. They don't have to be psychedelic. Lion's mane mushrooms, hella good for your brain. Big brains. And hey, we're gonna do this every year or every day, every fucking meal of the day, for the next fucking 8 years that Nampy is president. We'll call it 4 just in case. But I'm sure we won't even need terms after that. All right, we'll just promote me to world leader, fucking non-cult way. But hey, we all gonna eat the mushrooms, and then once we're all on that level, then I'll just step down and we'll all coexist. How about that? We'll evolve as a new fucking society. We'll become Homo Nampy. Homo Nampian, guys. Homo Nampian for president.
Now that you said that, you know damn well you're going to have people going to the poll and where you can sit there and write in your third party. Who the fuck's Namson?
And with a stunning 13 votes for independent, Nampy. Yes, most definitely, Gary. We'll put LSD in the water supply.
Homo Nampy, no homo. So it's just Nampy then.
And it's just Nampy, yeah. That'd be a good name for a song.
Nampy Sapien.
Yeah, I like Nampy Sapien. Yeah. Well, no, because Sapien means same.
We would all have the same free mindset, though.
Unlikely, actually. Well, free mindset. Yeah, no, that's the yeah. You're right.
Allegedly, the
relating
Knights Templar
to
went underground and became the Masons. When the Pope and King Philip of France wiped out the Templars, the majority of the huge fortune was never found. I believe it.
Conspiracy.
Hence national treasure. Exactly. Namp unity.
Hey, yo.
I like that.
Yeah, why not? Alright, let me go get my fucking robe and I'll brew up some punch for y'all.
Fuck you. I ain't drinking no Nampy punch.
Hey, man, we're all gonna drink the punch.
No.
And then they'll come and take us.
No.
Oh, man.
Coming to take me away.
Hey, but yo.
Wrong song. You said Ayo, and then you just kind of like.
Wait, I read something totally wrong. There's too many Nampies in the chat. Hold up. Nampson, Nampunity, Nampies, Nampinator, Nampalucipians. I like that one. I like Hallucipians. Yeah, I like Hallucipians. Let's do that. We'll be called the Hallucipians, courtesy of Tom.
There you go. P-Matt says, send me a gallon. Fuck the cup. I want a whole gallon. We are the Nampsonites. This has definitely been an interesting topic, and
I'm having a blast.
As per usual, we go off track and we don't talk about anything that we originally started talking about.
But it all
was
ties
a good starting
in.
point.
It definitely all ties in because we're still on the same idea here.
Right.
Needing to change society before we can have a great reset.
Right.
It's just we're getting into some comedy about it, you know. But nah, for real, Nampian. Let's see, how old am I? God, an old man. How old do you have to be? 35, right? 10 years from now, y'all. Well, I guess it'll be more like 12 years, right? No, 13 at this point. 12 and a half. Like 12 and a half years from now, y'all. Nampy for Prezi. I'll have Namson beanies. We'll give them out at our rallies.
I've offered to buy a beanie, so go fuck yourself.
Hey, listen. Hey, we'll get there. But, hey, 20, what would that be? 2032? 2034, I guess, right? That'd be the election.
Yeah.
Wait, am I? Yeah, 24 years. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, 20.
What?
20.
No, 28, 32. It'd be in 30. But
would it be 2032? No, well, hold on.
Let's
see, yeah, that's right. 32 is the one would be an election year. You're right. 2032. I did a bad math. But yeah, 2032, and had her for vice president. Hey, let's make it happen.
You ain't putting me with no that much responsibility on me. Fuck no. I'm not having
Hatter can
someone watch me
be
trip up the stairs and be a fucking national meme for the rest of my life. Don't think so.
Hatter can be the secretary of. Get this right, full screen. Oh, you can't do full screen. This isn't StreamYards. Hatter would be the secretary of words.
You're a dick.
Words, words, Hatter, words.
You're lucky I can't kick you on this. Otherwise, it
Uh,
ends the whole fucking thing.
hey, there we go, Cherokee. See, that's what I'm talking about. We just gotta
Cherokee,
get some
get in line.
beanies out,
I've been trying
and
to
then
get
we'll
a
get
beanie
some
for like
shrooms out
six
to the
months.
people.
Hey, that would be a hell of a way to get your product out. Sell beanies and then just put a little baggie in the little
I
flap.
think, the government would catch on to that pretty damn quick. No, but I
Fuck
actually
off,
really,
Odd
I'm
Tom. You dick.
so y'all, and I want to announce this here live on stream as well because this is something I'm actually serious about. This isn't cap. I'm looking into how to do this. But essentially, Nampy will be campaigning and lobbying for the federal legalization of psychedelics in America. All right, I'm gonna figure out how to do this. I'm gonna figure out how to get funding and all that shit, and figure out how to work it into my musical growth and career. But god damn it, mark my words, by the year 2032, when Nampy goes into office, all right, we're gonna have legal psychedelics for everybody. All right, in controlled clinical settings, we'll have like how you got weed dispensaries. We're gonna have fucking like it'll be like the equivalent of some fucking rainforest cafe type shit, but like in a fucking strip mall where you can take LSD supervised for 12 hours. Hey,
And
vote
Namson's
for
just gonna be
Nampy.
in the background being like, "Lick the wall. The snozberries taste like snozberries."
Yeah, they do. We elect you. Behave yourself, Nampy. I will. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I have a beautiful missus. I don't need no Monica Lewinsky Jr. or whatever the fuck we'd be at by that point.
Let me see. No, they don't. Mine tastes like paint and crayons. Well, I told you to stop drawing on the wall, be mad. Listen, just look at the background. It's a
Yes,
nice,
I love it,
soothing
Mister Ultimate
background.
Omega.
I just
Now see
imagined a
the.
world where Halloween kids were disappointed with candy, but overjoyed with wrapped up mushrooms.
It'll just be
who,
candy mushrooms.
who
People put them
wants a
in
fucking
chocolate
Tootsie
bars.
Roll?
Yeah, literally, you can put that shit in anything, man. If you fucking take that as a fucking ethanol extract, get this, y'all. If y'all don't want the stomach pains of mushrooms, all you got to do is distill it with fucking 90 proof alcohol 2 times, and then it'll form into a shelf stable fucking liquid. You put that shit into some gelatin. Hey, baby, we going to Mars.
Are we gonna beat
Drink that
Elon
water.
there?
Well, yeah, shit, I can make that in fucking a month. Elon's got at least another 3, probably more.
Why y'all gotta be so damn mean to me? Just for that, I'm not gonna let you guys come up with new fucking goals. You're gonna be
Hey,
stuck with these monthly goals, and that's it.
head of phonics education, this man. Yeah, be mad. That'll work. Definitely work. It's funny because I literally have a bottle of that right over there, like for that specific purpose.
Hanson's like,
Oh man,
well, yeah, I can verify that that works because that's what I use.
right? Literally. Hell yeah, purple. You get it.
I used to go to a Mellow Mushroom Pizza Parlor in Gwinnett County, Pleasant Hill Road, and if you know the owner, you could get a special. Interesting.
Yeah, Tom. That's what I'm talking about.
You barely butchered that band's name at all. Good job. Yeah, there was a couple people that picked up on the comments. I seen a couple comments about that. I do need to get caught up on my comments. Oh, I bet that would taste magical in mashed potatoes, though.
Oh, wait, mushrooms? Oh God, no. Magic mushrooms taste like straw and dirt, bro. Like nasty shit, man. You gotta eat
Slather it
that
with
shit with like
gravy.
chocolate or like a sandwich, man. Like, ugh.
Me too for the green dragon though. Ministry of
Of
Fungus. That's kind of funny.
Ministry of Fungus. Yo, that's fucking I like that. Hey, can we fucking make that shit happen?
Wish I could
Uh,
find non-treated woodworm, but you know.
that's absinthe, right? I'm pretty sure. That's no. Yeah, right? Woodworm leads to absinthe. That's what's I'm pretty I think.
All I know is I've been told about that shit, and hell no. Mm-mm.
Thujo's a hell of that's a drug I'll call a hallucinogen, not a psychedelic. That's a hallucinogen.
Fuck that.
Yeah, man. Fucking.
The shit I
Mm.
see in everyday life in this society scares me. I don't need to have my mind create other monsters for me to be terrified of as well. Fuck that.
Yeah, that
Like as it is,
Thujon
every like
trips.
10 seconds, Namson has this little like red dot that goes across his chest, and I'm afraid the man's about to get sniped on stream.
It could happen. Wouldn't that make for entertaining entertainment?
No, not
Top
really.
tier. I mean, you won't know until it happens.
Woodworm energy drinks.
Yo. Hey, yo. That sounds awful.
Right? We're gonna make you
Actually,
trip balls, but we're gonna give you a ton of energy first.
let's see here. Is woodworm like LSD? I'm curious. What's the comparison here?
I wish I could just get spores. Even been interested in lion's mane growing, amongst others.
Yo,
Uh,
lion's mane is fire.
I'm happy with my good old green stuff. Uh,
What is a woodworm trip like? I guess you gotta look up Thujon.
Worm, wormwood, not woodworm. Wormwood.
Oh, yeah.
Gary put
It's
it in the
okay.
chat wrong, and it fucked all of us
This
up. Way to go,
motherfucker.
Gary. It's all your fault,
So,
Gary.
interestingly enough, this is actually kind of like an odd cross of like a mushroom and a like a mushroom drunk feeling. Says it's very similar to an opium type feel.
Oof.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Wormwood is moxie with mushrooms. Yeah,
Huh.
I'm good.
Says it doesn't actually produce hallucinations, just intoxication. But it comes with a euphoric sense, similar to hallucinogens. Interesting. I don't fucking know.
So, wouldn't you be better off just to do some DMT
You
and
damn right.
get the euphoric sense without getting intoxicated?
Dude, it's crazy. You can take a tiny baby hit of DMT, like barely see anything and still feel like, whoa, I feel pretty good. Like I feel very positive all of a sudden. Like it's fucking weird, man. That shit gets in you and you're just like microdosing on DMT. That's the play, dog. If I had enough DMT, I'd be doing that shit daily. 100%. Don't do drugs, kids.
It's often mixed with nightshade. Eek.
Oh yeah.
See, that's where
Yeah.
people fuck shit up is when they start mixing shit and you know. Ugh. I can't tell you how many times gone on a fucking ambulance call for an overdose, and we have to be extremely careful because we don't know if fentanyl is in the product, and it's definitely a scary situation, that's for sure. That's why wormwood energy drinks could be a thing. Designer drugs are real for a reason. Like we talked about before, it's all profitable. If it's profitable, they're gonna sell it and they're gonna take a share out of it.
Facts.
So it's worm beer. Sounds like it needs a guarantee label. You're guaranteed to have some kind of a trip. If you don't hallucinate, you're gonna fall down the stairs once you get intoxicated. So a trip is
I'm still,
guaranteed.
I'm still all for putting LSD in the water supply. That's all I'm saying. We try it for a day, just one. It won't work in Florida with all the chlorine in the water there, but everywhere else should be all right. The bottled water.
Do you realize how easily it would be for someone to sit there and fucking like try to eradicate the human race?
What do you mean?
Like
It'd
if
be
you
pretty damn difficult.
no, not if you contaminated a water supply or
Yeah,
multiple
but
water supplies.
people catch on. You would have to have a very large coordinated attack. It would not be that easy because you got to think like well water, fucking rainwater. People would find a way.
Right. Yeah,
That's
but
it.
they
How
wouldn't
much
find a way
liquid
until
contains?
after.
Yeah, so some people would definitely be lost, but definitely not that many. I feel like some would get through. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of one of those up in the air type ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Back in the day, I did a Thai stick, hash, Jamaican, and some good Colombian with lamb's breath. Interesting.
So I gotta go do that thing now. Did you want me to just switch over to phone version on this?
Oh, I gotcha. You got to take
Yeah,
off, don't you?
gotta do that. You gotta do that thing.
All right. Well, I mean, we've kind of discussed what we were talking about, and
That's a very
chat's
fair
kind of
point.
slowed down. We've been live for 2 hours, so um,
Shit.
are we gonna surprise them, or are we gonna let them know what next week's topic
That's
is?
up to you. Chat, y'all want to know what it is?
We'll pick one
One
of
in the chat if
yours.
you want to know what it is. Two if you don't. Two
Yeah.
if you want to be
One if you
surprised.
want to know, two if you want to be surprised. Well, fellow students, I must go. Time for this old man to go to sleep. 3 a.m. comes quickly. Yeah, Boston's leaving anyways, so.
Stay sleazy. Take it easy, homie.
Break into an underground lab and steal a prototype of contained dark matter and then fly to the sky, blow up a plane. So one will see it happen.
Hmm. Interesting.
I think it's Odd Tom says one, B Matt says one, Rock On says
I think
one,
it's safe
Purple
to
says
say they
one,
all say
Kayla says
one.
one,
Yeah.
Cherokee says one, and Gary said
Night
Night
Boston.
Boston. Leave it up to Gary. Always fucking shit up. We're over here looking for wormwood or woodworm. So
Yeah.
have you done Lauren Babick? Yeah, I've checked out a little bit of Lauren Babick. Yeah. Fred's just looking for a reason to try to get us to that last goal. Stop it, Fred.
Do it.
I mean solo.
Do it.
I don't know if I've done any solo. I know I've done. Was it Lauren Babick or was it the other one? I can't remember. I'd have to look on the channel. Yeah, you are slipping, Gary. So, seems how this was my topic, and that was actually a pretty fun topic, even though Nampson kind of shut me down on every fucking turn I tried to take because he's an asshole.
Listen, man, I'm a man of logic. I like to
But it
think
makes sense.
logically.
Even if we did have to regress to go back to where we're not, led by a government or led by a currency, we would fall down the same rabbit holes.
Every single time.
I mean, we've done it time and time again. Look at all the great nations that have fallen over the time. The Roman Empire. Um, I mean, USSR. Like
That's a fact.
they broke free. What, just 2 decades ago, and then all of a sudden, they're still tied right back into the government and currency. So before I forget, Hatter, did you and Menace ever figure out about getting that package delivered? He hasn't responded to me, Purple. I still have it down on my table. Worst comes to worst, when I get the extra money, I'll just ship it out to you. I'll take the hit on it. That's a big fucking hit, though. You did Halcyon, Violet, Addie, and Lauren on Stairway to Heaven. I know, I requested it. Yeah, I just don't know if I've done it on... done a reaction to it of her own. It was a very interesting stream. Yeah, we're trying to come up with stuff that's thought provocative.
Outside the box.
Outside the box. Stuff that really makes you think. That's why it's a dab of madness. And while Namson figures out which topic he's going to discuss for next week, what do you guys think of the background? Does it move too quick? I thought it was pretty cool.
Does it not move quick enough? Is there not enough faces staring at you?
We tried going quicker, and
it definitely looked a little. Ooh, I like this speed personally.
It was a little trippy. I mean, I can show you guys what it sped up would be like. Filters, edit filters. And I can even switch direction. I can go really trippy. Namson got quiet.
I'm just staring at the fuck. Oh, I like that. Yeah, no, that's nice.
Too fast, gonna vomit.
Kind of thing.
So that's not too quick for you guys?
Nah, that's solid.
Can it
spin? Oh, Fred baby, can it spin? Probably.
No, but the wheel can.
Hey, send it. Fuck. What was I gonna say?
Dope. Needs a color shift. Well, I couldn't find one with a color shift, so shut up, Odd Tom. Your opinion doesn't matter. Do you need a refresher of what your two ideas were?
Yeah, I do. At this point.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up on Twitter really quick.
Bet.
Well, joke's on you guys. Namson can't remember, so it'll be a surprise for you guys next week.
Hey, let's go. Hold up. He's typing, y'all. I'm about to remember. See, I don't remember things that I don't have to remember because other people remember them for me.
No, that is no good. Takes away from you guys too much. But a slow, random direction would be cool. I love it. Yeah. Earlier, it almost plays tricks on your eyes when you look at it. It seems, yeah, it does seem to get a little bit wavy. I think that's the intention of the design. BMAD or Ultimate Omega said it was too quick.
It's not the intention of the design, bro. That's just the design. Like that's real, man. That's a real fucking place, a real fucking thing, and real fucking entities, dog. Like, yeah. All right, y'all pick a number, 1 or 2.
Ooh.
I'll let y'all pick.
Damn. All right. So me and you don't know what's being. Well, you know what gets.
I'll
picked.
know.
Make it spin. No, I don't think spinning would be good. We got 3 ones,
3 for 1,
2.
1 for 2. All right, bet.
We did this. Be careful, dog. I would like it slower. We'll try half speed. That way it's a little bit quicker.
1 is aliens, though. We're talking about aliens, baby. Send your boy
Uh-oh.
Nampy some aliens on Twitter and shit. On Instagram, which I might check maybe. I don't fucking know. I never used that fucking app. Send me some of your favoriteest aliens and memes. Send them to Hatter. And what's the difference between 1 and 2? Well, 1 was aliens, 2 was something else. Something you don't get to know. Hey.
Well, I mean, we could tell them technically because we have at
I
least the next
yeah,
3 weeks planned out.
well, that one's coming up. I think that one should be like a big one and kind of like a surprise one.
Okay.
Saying like, wow, fuck it.
Well, they already know about the aliens, so that's next week. The week after that will be me and Namson's doing a completely different topic, which I think you guys will enjoy. But like how we feel a business should be started and run. That was my suggestion. I want to pick Namson's brain, see how much a business insider mind he has, and then the following week, fuck you, it's a surprise.
Yeah, fuck you. Just kidding. I love y'all. Y'all are all right.
Just tell me the size. I'll mess around with random shit sometime. Yeah.
Size of shit. It depends on. Oh, you mean that? Never mind.
All right, guys. Namson's got to take off. We got to come up with an outro. I can't just do my outro all the time and you just be like,
hey, don't be a jabroni. Help old ladies cross the street, but don't help them in survival because we need to let them thin out. I'm just saying. Love y'all. Take it easy. Nampy out.
All right, guys. Have a great one. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope you found this conversation insightful, entertaining, stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody
Just
for
kidding,
being.
y'all. Be nice to old people.
How about the topic of Bigfoot and those types of creatures? We'll have to we'll have to check that out, Cherokee.
Looks like Cherokee guessed the next one after that. Fucking conspiracies, baby. I don't give a fuck. Let them have it. She got it. Damn, she guessed it.
So now I got 3
fucking
weeks
conspiracy
to come up with all the
theories.
Conspiracy theories. So we have.
Well, she's
aliens
talking about
business.
Creatures in general.
Well,
so that could be different than conspiracy theories
it's all
too.
Technically,
maybe we should
theories.
Separate those, though. I don't know.
It's all technically conspiracy theories. Some people believe, some people don't. But anyways, guys, Namson's got to take off. One of those things.
Go some way.
But appreciate you guys for stopping in. Hope you've enjoyed this dab of madness. Stay mad, and we'll